right, hello, patrons, and welcome. Okay,
Nathan said we were going to do our regular Patreon intro, so naturally, I made the first noise that came into my head to interrupt him. Which strikes me as the most on-brand thing we could do, yeah.
I suppose it is. Well, hello, patrons, and welcome to Knight's Quest Green.
You did it. You found it. You made it here. You've succeeded on your journey.
So I guess to open this, if you haven't listened to Knight's Quest Green on the main feed, which we have 2 episodes there of, you should do that. That's very much required.
That'd be wild if someone out there is only listening to Patreon episodes. Like, I respect the specificity, but also I would love to know why. That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't think anyone is. But yeah, I'm assuming you've listened to episode 1 and 2 of Knight's Quest Green.
Love it.
Because this is episode 3 of Knight's Quest Green. And we're going to pick up right where we left off with Marstleno.
There has been a murder.
There's been a murder. So Marstleno, you have antlers on your head.
I do.
Your pillow is still attached to one of them.
In my antler, yes.
In your antler. The feathers have stopped trickling down at this point from your running, which you ran in the middle of the night to Sir Verdas's room, your knight, the Green Knight, well, the previous Green Knight.
Oh, yeah.
And he is dead in his bed.
The late, great Sir Verdas.
That's right. What do you do?
I don't remember if someone is with me at the moment.
You had spoken to kind of like a servant in the hall, but you ran past them, so I think you're the only one here at the moment. I think you're probably the first one on the scene.
Oh, listeners, I apologize. For us, it's been a hot minute. Can you recap what he looks like again, the dead body?
Yeah. So, and again, listeners, if this is slightly different than the thing you heard, sorry. Tell us in a minute.
We're doing our best, guys, yeah.
This is the canon one. So he's laying in his bed, on his back. He's very pale. He's very gaunt. Around his eyes are very sunken in. Yeah. They're very dark. He still has his antlers. You do notice that, actually the way his bed is set up is so that way it's angled so that his antlers go kind of up. There's no headboard. He's able to kind of rest on his pillow comfortably. Yeah. So he was going to show you about this, but
oh no.
I guess it's a little too late for that. But yeah, there's no blood. So it's not like he was stabbed or anything. Yeah, his eyes are basically they're basically gone. I'm going to say it's so sunken in that he doesn't even have eyes itself. It's just dark holes right there.
That is unsettling.
It is.
I want to investigate the room, but I don't think I would. I think my character is going to panic and start yelling for help. Sir Verdas is dead. Someone help. Something terrible has happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So you start just shouting out into the halls.
Out into the hallway. Who else is in this? What kind of building is this? It's like a dorm?
Yeah, so you're in the Greenstone Castle. Yeah. And the area that you are in right now is where all of the knights live. So they kind of have their rooms right next to each other. So you've got obviously the Green Knight, you've got the Star Knight, you've got the Toon Knight, and the Light Knight.
There's a Light Knight.
There's a Light Knight.
Cool.
Yeah, we haven't. That's a new one. That's a new one to the story.
Big fan.
And so as you're shouting, let's just say that the first one, I'll roll for this. To see who wakes up first.
Marstleno realizes his voice has also changed since becoming the Green Knight, because I don't want to do the voice I did last time. I got tired of it and it was annoying.
Okay, so it's going to be the Star Knight who wakes up. She comes out of her room, and we haven't met her yet. Okay, but you know that her name it's still Sir because she's a knight. Okay, but we're gonna go. Would it be Lady? Not Sir. We're gonna go.
It's your world, man. Why?
I know, and I'm making decisions on the spot.
Yeah. No one's gonna tell you no. That's wrong.
Yeah. How dare you? You're actually wrong with your own story, Nathan. You dongle. Jamie, what's a cool name for
her name?
Star Knight
is Sir Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Yeah. Ramsey.
Sir Ramsey.
Yeah.
So Ramsey, she comes out of the room, and something that's special about the Star Knight is her eyes are glisten like stars. She doesn't have a pupil. Her eyes are just like sparkly, like star shapes that kind of twinkle in her eyes. And she's got her nightgown on, but she has her wand in her hand.
Yeah.
And hers is a little longer than Debon's was. It's maybe about 2 feet. And you can see that it's got a sizable like star shard at the end.
Ooh, okay.
But anyway, as she rushes out, she's still very dignified and alert. And so she's kind of looking around the room, and she says, "Marstleno, what is going on?"
Sir Ramsey, Sir Vertus is dead, and I think I'm the Green Knight now. And I've antlers, pillow, that part should be obvious. Yeah.
Yeah, she sees antlers. She looks in the room. She sees Sir Vertus. Yeah. And you can see she kind of like is taken aback. She's like, and you see that she was in this alert mode, and she still is.
Yeah.
But there's like a moment where like the emotion hits her, and she's like, "Oh no!" And she kind of like rushes in and kind of leans. She doesn't touch the body, but she leans in over him, and just kind of gets close. And as she's doing that, I think the next knight to arrive will also show up because they're good at their job. The next one's going to be the Toon Knight.
Apparently, they're not that good at their job. If somebody got in,
someone killed him. The next knight to show up will be Sir Malad.
Okay,
he is the Toon Knight. I don't know if we named him in the actual episodes, but I have his name written down, so that's how it is.
Cool.
The Toon Knight. What makes them stand out is his skin is covered in like different markings and images.
Whoa, okay.
So almost like tattoos of like a single color. But it looks like they're all birthmarks, but they're in interesting designs and patterns that they work. They look good. So they're cover part of his face. They're on his arm, and as he comes in too, I'm gonna say he's a taller, slimmer guy, thin and slimmer.
Oh, okay.
But toned, clean shaven, and he's got more of like a golden brown hair. And as he comes in, he sees the situation. He sees your antlers, and he's kind of stops. He doesn't even say anything. He understands what's going on. He turns to you and says, "Are there any signs of intruders?"
Can I look around the room and try to figure that out? Can I do a roll or something?
Ratiocination.
Hey, excellent. We love to hear it. Hey, guess what Marstleno's intelligence is?
You know what? I remember it. It's not good. It's not good.
What's the difficulty, my friend?
I'll give you a 2 out of mercy.
I love it. All right. Ratiocination. I can't even say it.
Ratiocination. We've never been able to say it.
Yeah. That is going to be 1 disadvantage and a failure.
Okay. So you go in there, and I'm going to say, well, obviously you fail, so you don't see any signs of any intruders, but you're still not used to having antlers on your head.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And I'm in a panic because my mentor has died. Yeah. I'm not thinking straight.
So in the panic, you're like, looking for clues. Yeah. You bend over to look for stuff, but you end up knocking over a bunch of like things on his side table. Maybe it was a vase of water, and so you spill that over.
Ruining the crime scene.
So, you're ruining the crime scene. And Sir Malad, who I'm gonna redo his voice because I didn't like the one I just did. That one was kind of rude. I think he's probably got actually more of a suave voice. He's it's all about music. I'm gonna give him one of these. He's like, Marstleno, I think why don't you step out here. You've got there's a lot probably going through your mind.
I'm freaking out, man.
Yeah, no, I noticed. And you see that Sir Ramsey, she's now stood up, and she holds up her wand and just kind of like does a twist of her wrist, and some stardust sprinkles out and starts covering the room, and she says, "Get out."
Okay. Yeah. We do that.
So you both leave, and she seems to be casting some spells. What do you do?
Can I do another, it would probably just be another roll. Can I do anything to see if I recognize anything about that weird, like, his condition, his skin, the eyes.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
100%. I'll let you do, because I'm guessing you don't want another ratiocination.
I honestly, it'd be funny. I just like the idea that in the story I'm trying to think of that,
I think here's my options for you.
Yeah.
Ratiocination would be trying to solve the clue.
Yeah.
Could give you lore if you're trying to just remember do I know anything about this malady?
Okay.
I could also have you just roll a general magic roll to see if you're recognize, is this a magical thing?
I'm pretty good at magic.
Yeah.
I'll do magic. Yeah, we can figure out if this is poison or something.
Yeah, difficulty 2.
Okay, we have a success. Love to see that. With 1 advantage. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Nope.
So as Sir Ramsay's casting spells, and you can tell she's very focused, and she's kind of, quick flicks of the wrist as little sparkles fly out, and they seem to be hovering and shimmering over certain objects, maybe some kind of identifier or highlighter spell. While she's doing that, you take a look at Sir Verdus, and now maybe starting to catch your breath a little bit. You're running through okay, do I know this? What is this? And it doesn't take you long to recognize, this dark sunken eye situation, clearly no sign of a wound that we can see. This is pretty cut and dry curse stuff.
Oh, I thought you were going to say poison. It's a curse.
So it is indeed some kind of magical thing.
Okay.
It's a curse.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to say, with your training, that curses can come from all kinds of places. Cursed objects.
Yeah.
Someone, saying a spell I curse you, like a witch doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So with your advantage, you're going to... I'll just give you just some details about curses that you know. So you remember, okay, so if it's a cursed object, then it's got to be nearby, right? Because he touched it. If someone cast a curse, then they would have had to have been here to do that.
This is the exact question I was hoping to get to, is do I know if a curse has to be close proximity, in the room? So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
It's cursed object. Okay. So I touched the cursed object and something happened. Yep. B, I cast a spell on you, I curse you right here, so they had to have done it. Or it's a old curse, some kind of your next baby when it's born is going to have this curse on it. And so that those kind of curses have a conditional thing, if then, when they reach this age or when they prick their finger, right? Sleeping Beauty kind of stuff.
Okay.
So if whatever curse this is, there's either a cursed object nearby, someone casts this curse nearby, or this dude's had a curse on it for a long time, and he never told you that.
Yeah.
He never told you he'd been cursed. That doesn't mean he wasn't, but he never told you that.
Yeah, that's the most... That option is the one that's most unnerving, because, the only person who could tell us anything about it is him, and he's dead. So that one's... If it turns out to be that one, that's going to be a problem, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's at this point that the final knight, the Light Knight, is going to show up. And it's pretty obvious, because the Light Knight, their skin radiates light, ever so slightly.
Glow in the dark knight.
Yeah, pretty much. They're a nightlight.
I get it.
Thank you. Jamie, what is the gender of this knight?
Oh,
I don't have this person yet. We're going to make him right now.
I'm down with going with a they/them character, unless
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
And it's going to be Sir Forus.
Okay.
But with a PH.
Forus.
So Phorus, just Forus. Forus. And they arrive. They are also, they're an elf. The other two are human.
As was Sir Verdus, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, he was human as well.
Yep.
And so Forus arrives, and they weren't as much of a rush as the other two, as they just arrived right now.
Yeah.
But they seem calm from the get-go. They peer their head in. They see that Ramsay's casting spells. They see that you have the antlers on. They turn to both of you and they say, "So, what's the next move?"
Well, I think I have two Gotta figure out what happened, how that happened, how could someone get in, or whatever they did. Gotta avenge my mentor's death, obviously. The other one is, I think I have to learn how to be the Green Knight now, which is, I don't know where to start with that. I can't really ask you guys, right? Because that's not your thing. Maybe I just have to figure it out.
Forrest puts their hand on yours, and you haven't spent much time with Forrest. They haven't been around the castle a ton. They usually go on a lot of ambassador missions to like other kingdoms and stuff. And they don't have a squire right now. So again, they're the one that you're the least familiar with. Forrest says, "Unfortunately, you are the Green Knight. You cannot learn it now. You are it."
Yeah, can't argue with that. Oh boy.
I think you should rest.
Is that? Huh.
I don't know. We have work to do. We could use his help.
I don't think I would be able to just go back to sleep. I think I'm gonna stay. Yeah.
You see Forrest, just again calmly, very stoic, says, "Okay, you are obviously new to this, so let me just remind you, you are our equal. We do not have authority over you. The only one who does is the king himself. So if you wish to stay, then you stay."
Oh, that's weird. That is weird. Cool. Do I still call everyone sir? The other knights? Like...
Yeah, we
okay.
Just a respect thing.
Okay,
We're all still sir.
Yeah,
so you're
definitely, yep.
You're Sir Marstleno.
Oh, that sounds weird. Okay,
So with this, you kind of now realize, they can't control you, so you can do whatever you want. I'll say this, Ramsey seems to be wrapping up her spells in the room, and she's kind of now, like, analyzing where her Stardust has gone, and she seems to be interpreting it in some way that obviously you don't know it. Sir Forrest is just kind of standing there calmly, and you can tell that he is thinking. He's processing, but he's doing it internally. And Sir Malad, he turns to you and goes, "Well, kid, it's kind of a sucky first day on the job, but I guess it is for all of us. You know, your first day is after your mentor passes away, though not from traditionally. My knight, he didn't die from a curse, so that was
right.
That's definitely not the normal. Not the normal."
Do you recognize anything about this curse? Like, I've been trying to figure out if somebody had to get into the room, or if it could be like some kind of cursed item, or some other effect I don't know about. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not much of a expert in curses. That's actually usually a Green Knight thing.
Yeah. Right.
I'm guessing you didn't get much into the differences in what all their different jobs are yet, did you?
No, not really. No.
Okay. Jeez. Okay. I'll do a quick crash course now, just so you know, and then we'll get into it.
We're doing a little bit on potions. I know a little bit about potions.
Okay. Good. That's okay. Oh wow. This is. Anyway. Sorry. I'm not. This is just a lot to process. So
you're
just
telling me.
Real quick. So Light Knight. He's foreign ambassador. Usually he's about that. Toon Knight, that's me. I'm internal human affairs, so my job is to keep the relations between the humans and the elves. Everyone's chill within the kingdom. You know, I make everyone happy. Work together. Star Knight, spirits, trying to work with the spirits, trying to make sure everyone's chill and happy with that. Right. And your job is the nature, right? Keeping everything at peace with the nature and the mystical creatures in the kingdom. So. And when he says that clicks with you, because you've spent most of your training getting to know the different mystical creatures. Obviously, the whole thing with the centaur is making sense.
Gotcha.
Learning, basically like mystical creature and nature etiquette has been a lot of your training, along with potions and alchemy stuff.
Yeah. Naturally.
But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, obviously it's a curse, but I don't know much more than that. Maybe Ramsey might know more, but she's in her zone, and I've learned just to kind of let her have well, to let everyone have their space when they're in their zone.
Yeah. I think it is just now occurring to Marstleno that he might have to be the one to, like, figure out the specifics of this curse and what happened. And this is supposed to be his purview, which puts this whole thing in such a weird situation now, because it's like, oh, okay, now we gotta solve the murder.
Right, exactly.
Interesting.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to do with Marstleno right now? Otherwise,
Does the room have windows?
Yeah, so the room does. It has a window, one to the outside. I'll paint the room. Bed's in the middle. There's a wardrobe. There's a bedside table, which had like a book, or, like a little like journal kind of thing, pen, and a vase of flowers, which you've knocked those over.
Right.
And spilled the water onto the book. He's got his armor in the corner, hung up.
Yeah.
For the night, and a desk, and then by the window, and the window overlooks the woods outside.
Oh boy. Okay, at the risk of asking a stupid question, can I analyze to see if there's anything sketchy about the window? Like, another clue. I mean, does that kind of fall under what we already rolled?
No, you can do one more.
Sick.
Ratiocination, but with a boost.
Love it.
Same
2?
difficulty of 2, yeah.
Right. Huh. Okay, we have a success with 2 disadvantages.
Okay, nice.
Interesting.
So you walk in, and take a look at the window, and you see Ramsey's stardust is kind of floating around the room, and it's kind of meandering, and as it goes towards the window, it's got a glass pane, but you see that there is a crack. Like, it's been left open just a little bit, and you see the stardust is kind of filtering, like, it'll float by and then whoosh, kind of like wish out.
That's not what we want.
The 2 disadvantages are going to be that as you walk through, you kind of disrupt some of the stardust as it's flowing through.
Yeah.
So whatever Ramsey's doing, you kind of interfered with that a little bit. That's one disadvantage. And the second disadvantage is going to be, I'm going to say, as you take a look out that window, and again, you're like, it's cracked open. Okay, is that normal? Like, does he normally like a little breeze, or is that suspicious?
Yeah.
But it is open. I'm going to say that a second disadvantage is going to be, you're still getting used to having antlers, is you end up bumping the window itself, and don't break it, but have now and it like opens up even more, and you've kind of interfered with it a little bit more, so you can't look at it anymore. Okay,
yeah. Gonna play that off as if that was intentional, because of course it was. The window was open a little bit already, and we've proved it because when I bumped it, it swung all the way open. So that somebody could have gotten in through the window. That might be, you know what? I'll need to keep that in mind in my investigation. Oh boy. Okay. Yep.
Ramsey is just staring at you, holding her wand. She was kind of bent over and like stands up straight, and she says, Marstleno.
Yeah.
I can see that you are still getting used to all of this. So I will tell you this one time, and I will not repeat it. When I say get out, don't come back in. And she like gestures to like the stardust that's like by your feet. That's kind of like now like swirling around your ankles, as if it's like, hey, look, here's something that's not supposed to be here.
Oh boy. Yeah. All right. Let me know when you're done, I guess. And I'll head out.
You walk out, and Mallet, he kind of like grabs by the shoulder, and he's like, hey, don't worry about her. She kind of gets in her zone. She doesn't want to deal with anybody, so don't beat yourself up. I have definitely messed up my fair share of her spells before, but you just put on a big smile, walk it off.
No, for sure. Walk it off. I walk back in.
Okay, great.
He says, I fully respect the point you made, but I need my knight's journal.
Oh, okay.
If I'm going to be the Green Knight, I should know as much as possible, given the circumstances.
All right. You can tell that she kind of looks at you sternly, Again, she was like analyzing the twinkles around the armor with her stardust, and she goes, "It's yours."
Yes, excellent. Got that. I'm making a mini checklist.
Nice. Ooh, he's got his own little task list.
Oh, yeah. This is how Marstleno is coping with grief. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll take that. I'll leave her to it otherwise.
Okay.
So Malad is still out in the hall, as is
Malad and Forrest.
And Forrest, okay. Marstleno is gonna step to the other two knights, and he says, What sort of burial will there be? Is that something I need to? No, not do I need to. I want to oversee it. I want to be kept informed. In how that should be organized. But I would like your help in doing so.
Forrest he kind of been in his own little world, and he rejoins the conversation. He says, "Well, there are procedures. I have witnessed a knight burial before, as the eldest of all the knights here. But I would again recommend to you, young knight, that you get some rest. I know there are many questions that you are racing through, and I applaud you for your earnest approach. You will be involved. Do not be concerned of that. But I worry that you are not fully grasping all the components here. Your knight is dead. We've grasped this. How? We've grasped this by curse. But why? We have not asked the why. More importantly, the who. Who would do this? Who is an enemy of Sir Verdas?
I don't know how to ask the question I'm looking for. Like, when they say that, does that like, I don't know.
Does that ring any bells for you?
Yeah. Is this a situation like?
Give me a roll. Give me a lore. A lore roll. And I'm going to say difficulties 2, but I'll give you a boost because you know Sir Verdas. You've been his squire for some years now.
True. I have a success. I have a success and 1 disadvantage.
Okay, yeah. So when he talks about who, are there any enemies of Sir Verdas?
Yeah.
Your first gut reaction is, well, no. I mean, It's been very peaceful, right? We haven't, all the creatures that we've dealt with, so obviously the centaurs are chill, you know. We've had to deal with some of the, like, fawns, and they're chill. There's some talking animals in the forest, and they're chill. And so, like, as far as those...
The only sort of person or entity who would want to kill the person in charge of keeping nature safe is... that the only way that makes sense is if they were trying to mess with nature, or if they're trying to mess with our castle and get it destroyed by nature somehow. If that, like...
Right. Yeah. So I think I'll give you that success is what you just came to. It's like, okay. We don't know, there's not anyone within Sir Verdas' world, but maybe someone outside that world that wanted to take advantage of the fact that, the new knight would be very uninformed, and so me putting in this role could be bad. So I'm going to say then the disadvantage is not going to be about the information you remember, but it's going to impact you of like, oh crap, maybe they're dead, maybe he's dead because I'm supposed to mess something up now as the knight. Like that's like a psychological thing that you think about.
Okay. So the I'm going to call it a bit paranoid, even if it does turn out to be true. But the paranoid thought is now in Marstleno's head. What if they killed my knight on purpose to make me the new knight?
Yes.
In the hopes or in the plans that I would mess something up so bad that it would, like, catastrophically damage the nature of this kingdom.
So whether that's true or not,
that's what wild, but now I'm thinking about it,
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I tell Forrest that first part about, I can't think of any enemies specifically, but if somebody wanted to, that whole thing. Oh, can I check the journal right now? Can I, like, skim?
Sure.
Okay, I would love to see, what should I look for specifically? this is putting you on the spot, but could I just look at like the last thing he was working on or writing?
So I already thought about the last thing. The last page?
Yeah.
You ruined it.
Huh?
You ruined the last page.
What do you mean?
So when you were in the room earlier, you knocked over a vase of plants. And so the water spilled onto the journal. And I'm going to say the most recent pages are ruined. The older stuff is still good, but the most recent stuff is no good.
Oh, love that.
So I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that.
We're off to a fantastic start as the Green Knight.
Right.
Well then. Okay.
Do you try to look at anything else? And like, there's still journal that you can use. Like, it's not like the whole journal is bad.
Yeah, I'll look for something else closer to the beginning. Is this a situation where I should try to think of like a certain kind of entry or?
No, I mean, it's just like, okay, so you just look at the beginning of this journal.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to obviously read word for word what it says because we're making it up.
Yeah.
But I think, so at the beginning, it's something like, oh, excited to start a new journal, just finished up the old one, I'm going to start a new one. There's some stuff about, okay, yeah, I was tending the garden today, noticed that the soil was a little dry, should talk to some of the treants about this. And this is like, it looks like it's from maybe a year ago is the start of this journal.
That is so domestic and adorable, yeah.
Yeah, there's some like stuff about chill. You in here where he's like, Marstleno, we just worked on some new potions today. He struggled at first, but he got the hang of it near the end. It tends to be his learning style is a hiccup at the beginning, but after one or two failures, he tends to master it quickly.
Yeah, I'm really glad it's not like, boy, Marstleno, I hate that guy. What a loser.
Yeah. No, it's... As you're, skimming through, it does seem to be he's very fond of you and of your progress. How intently are you looking through this journal? Just so I know, like, how deep are we going in?
That's enough for now, actually.
Okay.
I may ask about it in the future, but he closes it, and the knights in front of me, the two knights, and then Ramsey in the room. Are they in their armor?
No, they're not because they all were sleeping.
Sure. So it's not something that's like worn all the time. It's more, okay. Yeah. Weird question. Like, how much was he like physically way bigger than me and his armor would not fit me and I'll have to have some other armor made?
That's a great question. He's not like, I would say he's probably like, he was more muscular than you.
Okay.
Well, what is your strength right now?
Strength. 3, actually. I guess I gave him a lot of strength.
I guess you're of similar, I would say you're of similar body size.
Did I make this character a jock for the first time in all of Knight's Quest?
I think you did.
Holy crap.
You did on purpose, yeah. And that's why you gave him a low intelligence. And now I've given you a murder mystery.
Yeah, amazing. No, this is perfect. Yeah.
So you're thinking about that. I'm going to say Ramsey, she walks out of the room, and again, she kind of moves her arm in a quick snap up, and all of the stardust swooshes back into the purple and violet star shard at the end of her wand.
Yeah.
It's like just a big... You at first glance, it looks like a crystal, but as you look at it more, it maybe is more like a scale.
Ooh.
Kind of looks more like a scale.
Okay.
And she says, all right, well, I have finished sweeping the room. I could not find any objects out of place that shouldn't be there. And there were no cursed items in the room either, so we can eliminate that option. The window was, as Marstleno observed, left open, though I'm unfamiliar and wouldn't be surprised if that is normal for Verdus, as he is a man of the woods. But I wouldn't know.
Are we on a higher floor than ground floor?
Yeah, you guys are on the second floor.
Okay. Marstleno says, so if someone or something had intruded through the window, would anyone have witnessed this? Would there be any evidence of this outside? I guess he's just kind of thinking out loud. Yeah.
No, that's a good thought. We should probably go out there, see if there is anyone. And Remy says, on it. And she just walks out. She's clearly on task.
Okay.
All right.
That works.
Sure. No, she'll be great for that. Listen, Marstleno, I know this is just an unfortunate question to ask you, but has he ever mentioned that he's been cursed in the past? Like, has that ever come up at all? Like, even remotely?
I don't think so.
Let's make you do a camaraderie roll.
Just these regular rolls that are not moves, they don't use up resources, do they?
No.
Okay.
No, they're just rolls.
Camaraderie. Okay.
Unless we want to make up a move or something.
No, it's all good. I have like 3 at the moment. Camaraderie, what difficulty?
I'm going to say difficulty 3, but you get a boost.
Oh, love it.
Because this is a big question.
My charisma is 2, so that's decent.
And this is more me trying to just answer that question for you, if that ever did come up.
Ooh, okay. Advantages cancel out. Hey, but we got a success. Okay.
Okay. So you kind of sit there and you're thinking and you're going back. And while he never said, hey, buddy, I've been cursed, right? Like that was never a conversation. You do remember when you go back and you remember when he taught you about curses. And he talked about how some people can be cursed and there's a condition that can lead up to that, or, yada, yada, yada. He's going through that there definitely was, like a shift in his tone when he was delivering that lesson. Like the first 2 were very much like, yep, so here's a lesson. And the third one, he almost was like a lot more grave and serious about it. And when he wrapped up that lesson, you remember that he had turned to you and said something about like curses are nasty business. I should know. Something along those lines.
He didn't tell me directly, but when he was teaching me about trap curses, he did seem more apprehensive than his usual teaching, I suppose. And I thought that was odd because I would have thought that I wasn't even looking forward to the lesson because I thought he was going to be too go get him and eager about it, of like, we got to learn all about curses because they're, interact with nature, but it was almost like he couldn't wait to be off the topic. He either he knew something about it or that was exactly what happened.
Well, that's not obviously a great clue to get, but it could be helpful. I mean, if we don't find any signs of an intruder, I mean, that really does point us to this one clue, that he had been cursed. Now, by who and when and why? I mean, those are, jeez, that's a whole can of worms that I'm sure we're going to be so excited to dig into.
Marstleno is like staring off into the distance, and then he abruptly says, I have changed my mind. I need to get to sleep. Forrest, you were right. I guess I'll talk with you guys in the morning. I'm going to head back to my room, as awkward as it is, because I need to intentionally use the move, Sweet Dreams Are Made of This, to put myself more in tune with nature and possibly see a vision.
I love that. I think as you leave, Forrest, he nods and says, yes, we will be resting as soon as we know that it is safe. And just so you know, he gestures to the room with Cerberus' body. This will become your room once it is hospitable.
Marstleno spins around on his heel and he says, yeah, okay, this is ghoulish to ask in such a awkward way. Do we need to like move his body out? Is that something we should be doing right now? I have no idea. I'm so lost.
Malad, he again just kind of grabs your shoulder and he's like, I'm now actually agreeing with Forrest. Get some sleep.
Okay.
We'll take care of this.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I'm going to go back to my room and do the dream plan.
Okay. Do a dream.
Dream plan.
Okay. So what is exactly the move say that you got?
Uses up DP. It's from the skill Dreams. I just jotted down in tune with nature, see vision. Which is not a sentence, but I really should add more detail to it.
That's what it does. It gets you in tune with nature and you see a vision. So let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
That's My skill is 2, which with checkmark and dreams, I believe gives me 1 green, 1 yellow.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to give you 2 options about the vision. This is going to change the difficulty.
Okay.
I could give you a very broad general vision, in which case I'll make it a difficulty 2. So if you succeed, there'll still be information, but it's going to be very broad. Or it's going to be a more specific vision, but I'll make it a difficulty 3. And on this one, if you fail, you don't get the vision.
Right.
And successes and advantage have to do with, if you get successes, more details, and if you get disadvantages, it's going to impact how you're feeling and stuff.
Yeah. I want to go with the more broad vision that is the lighter difficulty. Yeah.
Okay. Difficulty 2.
See what happens. That awkwardly hit the side of the roller and stopped. It like balanced on an edge, so I'm going to roll that one again. Okay. Now. Okay, that puts us at a success with 1 disadvantage.
Okay, success with advantage.
Yeah. No, sorry, 1 disadvantage.
Oh, spicy. Okay.
Yeah.
Success with 1 disadvantage. Okay, so you go back to bed, which is now very uncomfortable because you're right. Yeah, you can't lay on your side at all because you've got antlers. And
oh, yeah.
So you have to just like stiffly lay.
That takes a lot of, there's a lot of like carefully maneuvering into a very specific sitting position. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
You pull the pillow off your antler.
Yeah.
But eventually you do fall asleep because it was still pretty late.
Yeah, if I have like a chair or something in here, that might actually be a better attempt. Yeah.
And when you fall asleep, you do get a vision.
Excellent.
In the vision, you see the forest, but it's not any of the part of the Great Forest you've seen before. It seems to be a lot more dark is a vague word, so I'm going to say it's more eerie. It's more eerie than you're used to.
Okay.
But as it is a dream, it's almost like, kind of watercolory, and it's kind of like blur, fading in and out. But definitely not like, oh, I don't recognize this part of the forest, which is something you could do, right?
Right.
As the Green Knight. And you see 2 figures. There is a bold, upright man, confident, strong, and a hunched over figure. And you see the upright man. There's no words. There's no words being said, but just kind of impressions. The upright man walks up to the hunched over woman and it's declarative. And the hunched over woman laughs, kind of cackles, and the bold upright man shakes his head, and the hunched over woman then beckons him closer, and he at first shakes his head, but then she seems to beckon him even closer, whispering in his ear. He perks up, and he leans in, and she whispers something to him, and he thinks about it, and he gets down on one knee, actually on both knees, kind of like kneels to this hunched over woman, and she kind of cackles, and she touches his forehead right between his eyes, and you see, and you feel it. You feel just like nauseous, and that's going to be part of the disadvantage. You feel genuinely nauseous at this moment as there is something done between these 2 figures, and you see the bold upright man for just a second. He is withered and weak, and she is strong, like physically strong. And then it reverts, and then he leaves as she slowly chuckles.
All right.
And you're going to wake up still feeling genuinely like sick, like nauseous sick.
Nathan, my good friend Nathan, I do need you to tell me, do I recognize this bold upright fellow as Sir Verdus?
I'm going to say in the vision, there are 2... They're almost like silhouettes.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was picturing it.
Yeah.
So you don't see figures.
Yeah, can't tell.
I would say it is very fair for Marstleno to make that assumption.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that is for sure him, but that wouldn't be outlandish to assume that.
Yeah. That was the broad vision?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, he is very, I feel like I keep using the word unnerved. He's very shook by the idea of like a voluntary curse, with the idea of like, yeah, totally, I accept this devil's bargain. and then that being something that comes back around and is paid for in the end. And like, just that whole idea is definitely something that has him a little rattled. Did you say it's morning now?
Yeah, you wake up, it's morning. I'm going to say you're a little uncomfortable from not being able to turn around and obviously still feeling nauseous, but it's the next day.
Oh, yeah.
And what do you do?
Do I have... Where did we land on my potions ability? I have a move for plant potions specifically that can do plant stuff in a fight. But do I have the skill to be like, I know how to make or get this potion that'll make me feel better and be good at helping me solve mysteries?
Yeah, so I will say, so obviously you have an alchemy skill, proficiency. So that means when it comes time to making and brewing anything, so potions is the big one, but I think we have used alchemy for like brewing like alcoholic things too. Like that's just what we've used it for.
Oh, totally.
So you're able to do that. Now I'm going to say that doesn't mean you know how to make every possible potion recipe, because that'd be ridiculous. But you would know, if there was a recipe, you would know how to follow the instructions. You know how to use all the equipment. You know where in the castle the alchemy station is. And so, like, that is something that is well within your purview and within your rights as the Green Knight to be able to brew potions.
Excellent. Can I swing by the room first and see, like, what's the status, if they've already taken out the body and stuff like that?
Yeah, so the body has been removed.
Okay.
And they've actually already cleared it out of all of his stuff too.
Damn, that did not take long.
You could move in if you needed to.
Oh boy.
I'll say there's probably like one servant who's like moving out the last like section of his clothes and stuff.
Boy, that is rough. Yeah. Did you say there was anything else when we looked over it last time? There was anything like besides the journal and that vase? And then there was the armor on the other side of the room. Was there another item that I forgot about?
No, okay. Not really.
Sounds good.
I'm going to say at this point, Sympathy comes running up to you. She's like, Marstleno, oh my goodness. I mean, Sir Marstleno, I think. Oh, wow, they're so cool.
I hate that, I think. You know what? How about, I guess eventually in front of other people, I'll have to, oh man, I have to have everyone call me Sir now, don't I? Okay,
yeah, you're the Green Knight, and I'm so sorry for your that's so awful, but also, they're really cool antlers, but also that's so sad.
Yep.
And, how are you feeling? And you're still feeling genuinely sick.
Yeah, pretty bad, emotionally as well as, nutritionally. So, what do I even tell her? Oh my goodness. Like, I guess she already knows the gist of it.
I'll say she is just going to keep around. It's like, oh my goodness, the rumors spreading around the castle. Nobody knows what's going on. I mean, was there an assassin? Are you okay? Did you get hurt? Oh my goodness.
No, I'm fine. I don't think there was an assassin. Sympathy is the Toon Knight Squire, is that right?
Yep.
Can I, make sure no one's listening outside the room?
Sure, okay. Yeah.
I do that, and then I'm like, okay, Sympathy, so this is probably going to be a lot to put on you, but, I don't want to I don't really know who else to tell, and I don't want to just carry this around by myself. I think there's something that Sir Verdus didn't tell me. I think there's some thing going on that ended up curse killing him, but I think it was a trap curse, some kind of bargain, some kind of spell that was made a long time ago, and then the punishment or the what is the word I'm looking for? The consequences come back much, much, much later. But of course, we don't have him to tell us about it, so we're kind of just guessing at this point. But there was a vision, I had a dream thing, and
yeah, your dreams.
Yeah. Anyway, the gist of it is, I don't think there was an assassin. I think there's some other weird stuff going on from his past. Man. And I'm gonna be one of the things I'm gonna have to do now as the Green Knight is try to figure that stuff out.
Oh wow. that's so much on your plate. Because you gotta solve that and also figure out the giant stuff.
I do,
same day.
No, I almost forgot about the giant thing with I've
been thinking about it all night.
Shoot. Okay.
Because that's what I was thinking about until, of course, I found out.
Right.
And then I was thinking about that.
Right.
But, wow.
No, same here.
And
the
centaurs are still here, too. Oh, man.
Aren't they at like a whole different location?
Well, they're like outside the city.
Oh, okay. They're here as in like they're traveling all across broader. Okay, yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, you're right. There's quite a lot. I'm making a list. I make lists now. I guess that I don't know if that comes with the Green Knight or if that's just a switch flipped in my brain or something. I make lists now. So,
yeah, you really do sound like you've changed, like even vocally.
Yeah, no, it feels like I've changed. It feels like I'm almost a completely different person from last night. So, I want you on my team?
What? But don't you already have a team?
Huh. I guess I do. Okay, so I look out in the hallway to make sure we're not being listened to again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sympathy. I know I said that, I know I was being all dramatic earlier, but at this point, I really, really, really need you to, not tell anyone about this.
Of course, yeah.
So, I have my suspicions about, something that Sir Veritas wasn't telling me, but I need to be honest with you. Part of the reason I want you on my side in this, I'm not sure I can completely trust the other knights.